Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a long time since you've seen me do anything. I think the last video I posted was the fill filter one. And well, today I'm finally doing it. I'm putting my lift on. So I'm just going to go over some things that I have. Now, this is my first time ever putting on a lift by myself, but I'm going to give it a shot. So here's what I have, or what I think I need so far. I got jack stands, impact gun, jack, tool kit, wheel bearing socket, WD-40, extra jack stands, grinding wheel, metal blades, reciprocating saw, grinder, and torsion key remover or unloader, torsion bar unloading tool. So I'm sure I'll need more, but yeah, I'm gonna put it on today. It's probably gonna take a while. It's gonna take probably, I'm guessing, around 3 days is what I've heard. So yeah, I'm gonna give it my best shot. I'm gonna take you along. Hopefully I can answer any questions about the lift kit. The lift kit of choice is a Zone 3-inch front diff drop kit, and yeah, I'm gonna give it my best shot. So we'll see how it goes. See you in a little bit. So here's some before shots. It's kind of hard to see on video, but the truck has a natural rake. It almost looks like a two-wheel drive truck, but it's four-wheel drive. So before here, I measured. On mine, it's about 7.25 inches. 7.25 here, so hopefully it brings it up to around 10. We'll see. I don't know. We'll give it a shot. But here's before. Truck's dirty. I'm gonna wash it after I put it on. Let's see. Put everything on stands. Both sides, double stands. Alright, so quick update. I just removed, or just unloaded the torsion bars with the torsion tool right there. I don't know if you can see it. Anyways, it's under there. Yeah, I took the torsion. I don't forget the name of these, but it's what the torsion key sits on. That's what you adjust it with. So I got both sides removed, and now I'm going to start taking off the upper control arms. I think that's what's next. I take these guys off, which I've done that a million times. It's not that hard. So I'll see you in a little bit. Alright guys, so I forgot to mention a step. You have to, after you take or release the torsion keys, you have to take the torsion keys out, and I just did that right there. It's actually quite simple. I had to do this on one of my other trucks, but it was a Michigan truck, so they were just seized to hell. But this time, I'll show you real quick. You can see I took them out. This time I just soaked them in WD-40 for a few hours, and what I did was, sorry, I just got one of these, a longer socket, and I put it in this hole, and I just hit it with a hammer. Bam, 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 right there. And surprisingly, I mean, this is a rust-free truck, which I'm very thankful for, but literally with 3 hits, the whole torsion bar just slid forward, key dropped out. So I did that on both sides. So got super lucky there. So yeah, got the keys out. Now I'm gonna read the instructions. I think I need to start loosening up the front components, like the lower control arms and the upper control arms. Start taking those off. And so yeah, I'll see you in a little bit. All right. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to take off the shocks, and then I'm going to take off the upper control arms, and then take off the CV axles from the diff. 6 bolts, I think. unless it's different on an HD truck. But yeah, keep everything, take off the shocks, take off upper control arm, keep the camber keys, all that, remove it, and yeah, so. Alright, so I just took the shock off. Went right there, there it is. Like I said, guys, it makes it so much easier if you just WD-40 this stuff in the beginning. This is also 13/16, I believe. Let's see. Yep, 13/16 for the upper control arm. So, and then for the ball joint bolt, it's an 18mm. So I'm gonna take that off next, pop this off, take the CV axle off. We'll see how it goes. Alright guys, so I don't know if you can see, I took the brake hose off, or the brake lines, ABS line off, and I just got rid of it so it's out of the way. And then I got the upper control arm out, and this is the tool I used, well, fork. Hit it underneath this with a hammer, pound, 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 pound. Actually what I did was, I hit on the upper control arm a little bit because I'm not reusing it. And then all I did was hit this a few times, the knuckle with the hammer, put the fork in there, hit the fork, bam, 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 popped it straight out. So going along smoothly right now, can't complain. So yeah, next step is I'm going to take camber bolts out, take the whole upper control arm out. Alright, so it's starting to look pretty bare. Like I said, shock's gone, just removed the upper control arm, and now I just did the 6 bolts from the CV axle, and those are 15mm, or millimeter, excuse me, 15mm. So that's done. On to the next step. Let's connect the breather tube from the front differential actuator wiring harness from the differential. I'll do that after I repeat this same process on the other side. So I'm going to do that. I'm not going to really bring you along for that because I already did this side. So yeah, see you when I'm on to the diff. There's a breather tube right here. This tube right there that I'm pointing at, and it's connected to that. It's about right there on the diff. That's where the CV axle went. It's right above it to the left. Pull that tube out and then disconnect the actuator wiring harness, which is down here. You can see right there. Disconnect that. And now we're on to the next step. So we're going to move that right there. And then another. Little update. It's kind of hard to see, but here's the lower control arm on the passenger side, torsion bar, and then here is the rear bracket that they wanted you to take off. There's 4 bolts. It's hard to see, but there's one here and there's one here. I gotta finish taking this one out. It's already ready to go. And then down there's 2, but instead of being side mounted like these are, it's up and down, right up there. It goes right up there. So I just got to finish taking this out, and I have the rear cross member of the front diff off, and then I got to take off the drive shaft, the front drive shaft, and then should be getting pretty close to taking the diff off, the front diff, and dropping that down. So okay guys, so I'm back. Actually, you just saw me like a second ago, but anyways, I removed the rear diff bolt. Can't remember if I told you or not, but it's right there. It's right on the driver's side. Lower control arm, the rear of the lower control arm, and there's a rear diff bolt that goes right there. It was kind of a pain in the butt, but I got a crescent wrench. Sorry, I'm shaking so much. My hand hurts. I hit it with a hammer. I got it with a crescent wrench and a socket in the back of that, so that came out not too bad. But to drop this diff, I'm gonna have to lop this off right here. You can see this. So there's where the drive shaft hooks up to. And then in order for this whole thing to come down, that would be in the way. but this bracket would be in the way right here, so we gotta cut this off right here. And I'm kind of scared, but that's what the instructions say, so I gotta do that. So I'm doing that next. I gotta get the saw ready, so see ya in half a second. Alright folks, here we go. Pick this up on sale for like 14 bucks. I mean, Harbor Freight, can't beat it. If it breaks, it breaks. I really don't give a shit. So yeah, I'm gonna lop that off. Check the instructions one more time. Oh. Jeez. Well, there you go. Just lopped it off. There it is. Here's that cross member you don't need anymore. And then here's that bracket. Pretty straight. Alright, so I just took off the driver's side differential bolt. It's kind of hard to see, it's up in there. And then there's two on the passenger side. There's two, there's one right there, and then there's one behind it. The only thing holding up the diff is the jack, so here's a moment of truth. Take off these clips. So the wiring harness is still hooked up. You got to take off these clips right here. One right here, one here. Well, there she is. Damn sirens, that's all you hear now. Hey guys, I got the diff out. There she is. In all her glorious beauty and stubbornness. You know what? I mean, knock on wood. But this, it wasn't too bad. You know, I had a couple hiccups where I didn't have the right tool, so I had to just use another tool to finesse it out of there. But I mean, for the most part, everything's been pretty good. Can't complain. Compared to my last truck, this is a breeze. I mean, I still would have been taking an upper control arm off or trying to get the old torsion key out with how much rust was on my other truck, which I still have and I still use. But anyways, well, I hope you guys enjoyed today. Tomorrow I'm gonna be mounting up the brackets, doing some cutting, and hopefully putting her back up in there and putting the keys in and getting the actual lift going. So yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Well, day 2, guys, and it's freaking raining. It says it wasn't supposed to rain at all. Of course, weatherman never gets it right. It's been raining since 5 a.m. this morning. Everything's soaked. Got puddles here. But I've been making do. I put one of our old blow-up mattresses down there. So I've been laying on that. So what I did today so far is I just finished cutting off that bracket, which I'll show you. That first piece that I lopped off, which is right here. You see that square tubing? So there's some square tubing that's left on the lower control arm bracket, or that little pocket, which is, show you, which is just this piece right here, and it extends, and the bracket's right here. It's welded onto the bracket where my thumb is. So you can see that. And what you pretty much have to do is, this tubing comes out a little bit more, and you just have to cut the tubing off from this bracket that's over here. Just finished cutting the tubing off, which, not gonna lie, it was a pain in the butt, but I did it. I had to just do, I don't know if you can see, like shards of little chunks that I used the reciprocating saw with. and just started hacking as much as I could away. And now I'm going to start grinding it down to make it all flush and smooth. Then I'm going to paint it, and then yeah, get going, putting this thing back together. So let's see if I can show you what it looks like down here. It's kind of hard to see, but here's the lower control arm, and then here's that lower control arm bracket, and here's where that tubing was. Let's see if you can see it up here. It's connected right here. Right here, that first cut I made was right here, and then the rest of the tubing stuck out right here, and I just had to, I got it as close as I could to this bracket, just sawed it off that way, and it just popped off. But as you can see, like I said, there's shards that I've been cutting off. Like this one was right here, and I cut a bunch of pieces off there. Sorry about the lighting. I was hoping it would be lighter, but it's not. So now what I gotta do is, there's still a pretty good chunk right here. I gotta grind all this down, and then I gotta cut this off right here, this little chunk right here off, so I can put the new bracket on here. So that's what's up next. So yeah, I'll give you an update when I'm done with that. Alright guys, so as you can see, hard to see, but this bracket right here, I trimmed it all off, just like I said earlier, and on the back side I grinded it all down so it's all flush with this side, so that bracket can just slide right on up. And now I have to cut this bracket. Sorry, I'm trying to lay out my gut and show you. There's no room to work here. Alright, so I gotta measure from the center of this bolt, this lower control arm bolt, 2 1/8 inches over, and cut. Now, I talked to a guy on YouTube, Duramax Brax, I believe his name is, and so far him and like Custom Offsets have only done like a video on this lift kit, and Custom Offsets doesn't really go in depth. He kind of like goes into a depth after he put it on, so I'm trying to make this video so if you are putting it on, you can see like what you actually have to do and what you actually have to cut. So you got to measure from the center of this bolt over 2 1/8 inches. Now he said he cut it too short, so I'm gonna go a little bit more just to be safe, because on this bracket that's going up in here, okay, this only has the one bolt right there. That's where that bolt's going right here. But you also need room to drill a hole into this for this other, whatever goes here. I'm guessing another bolt. So you measure it. Let's see if I can do this. I'm trying to do this all with one hand, using an upside down roller. So center of that bolt there, 2 1/8. That should be plenty. 2 1/8. I'm gonna go a little bit more just to be sure, like maybe 2 1/4. I mean, and there should be room in here for it, so I'm gonna go 2 1/4. 2 1/4. So that's what I'm gonna do. Work it off from here and start cutting. So we'll see. See how it goes. I wish I was rich and owned a lift, an actual truck lift. That way I can stand up, because this is miserable. There it is, folks. You can see where I grinded on that side. 18 2 minutes later, got that piece off. I'll try to show you what it looks like under here. So there it is. Cut that off. Oh, doesn't like that. There it was. Cut that off. Cut this side tubing off right here first. Grind it down a little bit just to make it easier to cut. Cut this piece off. Now I'm going to grind all that down, make it all smooth. Paint it. Actually, let's see if this bracket even fits right here. 'Cause that's going to be a moment of truth. If I can grab this. Alright. Gotta put you down first. Oh yeah, look at that. It's gonna go right in there. And then that hole is gonna go right where that bolt is. It's gonna slide right in. Hopefully there's enough room to where I don't have to, or I don't gotta weld it. But I'm guessing there's gonna be enough room. I mean, I didn't cut as much as it said to, and I think it'll fit in there. But I guess the only way to find out is I gotta take this out. Clean all this up first. I'll take this out. Actually, I should probably take this out first, see if it fits, and then do it. I'm gonna do that first. So I'm back. As I said, I got everything grinded down. Bracket mounts up to it. It's all cleaned up on this side. It's all cleaned up over here. Just gonna paint it. Primer and paint. And yeah, gonna put the bracket back on. Alright, so I spray painted all of that. It's all shiny. It's drying. Both sides. Kind of put too much, but whatever. Just as long as it keeps the rust away for as long as I can. I know it's gonna get scratched and dinged up, but hopefully it'll help prevent it. I just have this towel here because I didn't want to get paint anywhere else. But yeah, I'm gonna let that dry. Put the bracket in, put the new bolts in, and put the rear cross member back on, and hopefully get to putting this diff in pretty soon. So yeah, just waiting on that to dry. Good morning. So yeah, yesterday I had to cut out early. All I got done was I finished cutting off and cleaning up that bracket, or the lower control arm pocket, and yeah, that took me like 2 to 3 hours. I had to wait for the rain to clear up, and like right now it's starting. Starting to see some sprinkles, but of course it's starting to rain again. It wasn't supposed to rain till 12 today. It's like 7:50 right now. I'm hoping it's just like a little scattered shower, but today I'm gonna try to just knock it out. Just gonna try to get everything done up in the truck at least, you know. Maybe not everything tightened down, but I want to get everything. I want the diff back in, everything lined up, knock it out. So I'm waiting for a store to open to get a torque wrench. 3-stars don't have a 1/2-inch drive torque wrench. In foot-pounds. They have it in the inches one, but they don't have it in foot-pounds. So I'm waiting for a store to open on that, and I'm going to get started. So up next is, I think, putting in the diff. So yeah, I got that. Like I said, I got it all cleaned up and it's ready to go. So we're going to give it my best go. And I have no clue what that bolt goes to. Alright, well, see you in a second. So, just a quick update what I've been doing. I put the hex bolts on. I got to tighten them. I need to get a torque wrench to tighten them like I just said. And then this guy, spacer goes up right here. And then the diff will attach to these two. So I got that side done. I just got to tighten that up. And what I've been doing is trying to get this new bracket on. You can see the new bolt right here. This new bracket right here. See that bracket right there? That's where I did all the trimming and everything and put that new bracket on. So I just got to tighten that down. I will tell you this, it is a pain in the butt to line up the lower control arm with the frame bracket or the lower control arm pocket and put this new bracket on. It is a pain in the butt by yourself. I highly recommend using two people. Yeah, I had to use the jack right here and put it underneath the lower control arm to help support it. Then I had to hammer it a little bit to move it in place. Then I had to use a screwdriver to stick it in there and kind of wiggle it around and get the bolt through started. Once I got the bolt through started, it was fairly simple. I just put the hex or the Allen wrench on it and started turning it, and it worked its way through the hole. So that was nice. Putting the diff in, so that'll be interesting. So we'll see how that goes. So, all right, folks. So I just tightened up the passenger side little hex nuts, I guess you call them. I'm not really sure. The axles or the diff is prepped and ready to go in. Just waiting for my wife to help me with that. Got the bracket mounted up. I got the spacers for, oh, there they are right here, these things, for the top end of the driver's side for the diff. It just drops it. Instead of it being up here, it's going to go down here. And then there's the new bracket, like I said. I know I keep saying that, but I don't want people to get confused. And then that's the passenger side, and it's just those hex bolts with that spacer. So the 3 mounting points, bracket up here, and then passenger side. And yeah, get that in, get the bracket going across, mount everything back up. Hopefully it's decent sailing from here on. I know this part I heard is pretty rough. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully it can go in smooth using two people. But once I get that in, I I can pretty much just put everything back together pretty fast. So I'm not too worried about this. This is the pivotal moment right here. This is where, like I said, guys say it's extremely hard to get this diff in, which I can see because that bracket's back in the way now. And I thought about taking the bracket off and then putting the diff in and then putting the bracket back on, but then I'd have to redo this lower control arm, and that was a pain in the butt. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I'll let you guys know. But pretty much what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be holding this like this. You're going to be pushing it underneath, and I'll tell you to go up or down and all that jazz. All right, so as you just saw, that was a huge, what would you call that, Shelb? Fiasco. That was a huge fiasco? Fiasco. Whatever the hell that means. So what we ended up having to do was we tried installing, as you saw, the diff with the new bracket on, but could not do that. Just could not rotate the diff over it. So I said screw it. I took the bracket off. That way the diff went on a lot easier. Bolted the diff up to the top mounts up here. Those right there. And then on the other side, the two on the passenger side, which held it up. And then put the bracket back on. Now that was a pain in the butt, but it was a lot easier than trying to hold the diff up there and get it mounted to the bracket and then get it over the bracket, get this knuckle over the bracket or the yoke over the bracket. So just that makes it easier, and it's easier to work with this than to be working underneath the truck and trying to hold up the diff and tighten up and put them on the mounts, especially the mounts way up there. So that's what we did. It took a while, but we got it. Now it's pretty much putting stuff back together. So yeah, I'll bring you along. I think what we got to do next, I got to tighten up the passenger side bolts over there. I don't know how I'm going to do that yet or what needs to go there. I haven't even looked at it. I just got done with this, so just wanted to give you an update. See you in a second. Alright guys, so I'm back. You just saw me a split second ago. This is what I've done so far. I tightened up, I hooked up the CV shafts. I installed the cross member bracket to the new bracket that I put on the driver's side. Cross member here using the factory bolts over here. And then over there you use the bolts that they gave you to re-hook up to the new bracket. All that's done. The axle has been torqued down to the specs that it says. And so yeah, now I'm starting upper control arms, which I just installed this one. It's fairly simple. I don't think I need to show you guys what I did. Yeah, you just install the camber bolts, boom boom, pull up the knuckle, attach it with the new ball joint, torque to spec, and then I'm going to put the shock in, put all these little, holders in right here. It's a self-tapping screw that goes there. And then this side's done, and I just got to do it to the other side. So I'm hoping this is helping you guys, because I haven't found a zone lift kit video, so hopefully this is going to help you guys. But yeah, I'm going to repeat this process on the other side, put the shocks in. That's pretty simple. One bolt here, attach down there, boom, good to go. That side's done. After I'm done with everything, I'm going to make sure I torque everything down correctly, so I know it's all good to go. I'm going to go through it 2 times just to make sure. So, see you guys in a second. Alright, I'm back. Just got the driver's side upper control arm in. Got the ball joint connected to the lower control arm. Yeah, so looking good. We're going to put in the shock, and I'm going to get to tightening some stuff up. So I just wanted to show you guys what the driver's side looks like. So yeah, got to get that all up, and then we'll work on putting the keys back in and everything, and getting this thing ready to go. One step closer. All done with the upper control arms, all done with the front shocks. Now, like I said, I'm just going to go tighten everything up and see how it goes. Alright guys, it's getting darker, but finally got everything tightened to the correct specs. Got the brake lines on, the ABS lines, everything's tightened. I triple checked it. Yeah, I hope I got everything. I'm sure I might forget something, but I'll think of it when I'm in bed tonight and I'll write it down. So yeah, here she is. Gotta get a new clip right there, but all done. I'm about to put the wheels and tires back on and see what she looks like. So see ya in 2 seconds. Go higher. Doesn't fit. Gotta pick her up more. I'm right at level. It's hard to see, but I mean, I could crank them up a tad more if I wanted to, which I might, because I haven't even put the rear blocks on yet. And I might not even need to. I don't know. I just don't. We'll see once I get it aligned and everything, but. Might crank them up a little bit more. Yeah, so there she is. 3-inch zone lift. All complete. Hopefully it works out. We'll see. Took 3 days, actually like 2.5. I stopped early yesterday and went fishing. Needed a break from it, but it is possible to do it on your own, at your house, by yourself. Actually, you do need help. My wife helped me a lot. Especially putting the diff back in. That was a pain in the butt. But so you'll need someone to help you there. But other than that, it's just a lot of getting up, crawling underneath the truck, forgetting a tool, crawling back out, forgetting another tool, crawling back under. So if you're willing to do all that and save a bunch of money, why not? So yeah, I'm gonna get it aligned and everything, then I'll let you guys know how it looks and if I lift it up anymore, which I might just try right now, so we'll see. Guys, well, finally done. Moved her, put my boat back, cleaning up the tools. Here's what she looks like. Here we go. Yeah, I need to get an alignment. I haven't gotten one yet. But you can see this tire's really crooked. Kind of hard to tell, but they're pretty much level. I mean, maybe a slight degree, but yeah, they're pretty much level. I didn't even change the rear blocks out. There's no need to. It's completely level, so I'm just gonna keep it like that, unless maybe in the future, I don't know, I crank them up more, but the truck sits level as it is, and that's all I wanted. So here's the driver's side. I mean, they're pretty much level. I don't know how the video is looking, but I mean, it's just a slight, maybe just a little bit, but next move is to get it aligned, and I gotta put the skid plate on. That's next too, but the hard part's over, so I'm happy. there you guys have it. Finally completed everything. I put all the shocks on, put the shocks in the back. I don't remember if I said earlier in the video, but I did not put the rear blocks on with the new U-bolts. I just put the shocks on. I kept the stock back end, and the only thing I changed was the front suspension. I know a lot of you might say, well, you should put it on. If you bought it, might as well put it on. Well, you know what? To be honest with you, I like it the way it is. The truck sits completely level. My angles are good, just slightly above level. I've cranked up my torsion bars, and you know, I've had bad angles on my other truck, as you saw, the one where I had to fix the brake lines. I mean, that was a nightmare. I have to change, even right now, the upper ball joints are going bad on it. I change them out every year. Yeah, it looks cool, you know, just a little bit of lift, bigger tires, but in the end, I'm sick and tired of changing ball joints and pitman arms and everything in between, you know. So I wanted something that's going to last me. I want something that's going to not hurt the truck, but still look good. So that's why I went with this. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm going to be actually taking off my exhaust in another video. Maybe today, actually. I might just do it and make another video. In California, you have to have the cats on, the Cadillac converter, so I'm just going to cut it. I'm going to cut it and put a tip on right after the cat. And I actually have a friend in town, he does that, and his truck, you can hear his turbo, you can hear everything so much better, and I want that growl, you know. So I'm going to give it a shot. If not, if I don't like it, then I'll just put it back on. I'll take it to shop, have them weld it back on. So yeah, that'll be in the future. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, let me know. If you have any comments, if you liked it, let me know. If you didn't like it, you know, maybe tell me why. Tell me what you would want to see. I tried to get everything and explain everything, but obviously I'm sure I missed something. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I tried to get a lot of shots of, you know, the angles and what everything looks like, what I did. I just used regular tools, nothing crazy. I had to go to the store and buy a reciprocating saw. I had to buy a grinder, which I didn't have, and I bought extra floor jack or extra jack stands just to be safe. I have a jack and a toolkit, 2 small little toolkits. Was all I needed. Torque, you're gonna need a torque wrench for foot-pounds to get everything to specs. But other than that, I think that's pretty much it. I mean, yeah, it does take a while. Yeah, it sucks, like I said earlier, but you know, if you really want something bad enough, you'll do it. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video, and until next time, see you later.